What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Blazed and Confused, a podcast where curiosity is high, confidence is questionable, and logic usually shows up late. I'm Max.
And I'm Noah.
So, first things first, challenge is still going. You get us to those numbers, we go and hunt ghosts. Also, we need some ideas of where. Following that up, though, we've got two pretty crazy topics for you this week. One is from, medieval times that, I don't know, man, just kind of makes me solidify my alien theory. And then we've got the lead masks, which is another alien one, bro.
I think acid.
You could tell who picked the topics this week.
Oh, yeah. 110%.
Yeah. But no, so these ones we'd come across before. I know the Green Children one we had seen somewhere during one of our other researches. And then on top of that, the lead mask, I think, was one that we were going to do with Dyatlov, right?
Yeah, that was the plan because, it was kind of like a hand-in-hand.
Yeah, and then we ended up
thinking it was the CIA behind it, and/or aliens,
but then
and/or a Yeti.
Yeah, we hadn't committed to the whole alien theme yet, but I definitely
haven't.
Yeah.
We're not. So look,
I have.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Because just like last podcast, where Noah speaks for only Noah, apparently
Sasquatch.
Max speaks for only Max when it comes to aliens.
Yeah, dude.
He does not speak for Blazed and Confused as a whole.
Yeah.
This is all hypotheticals.
Yeah.
Isn't that what you told me last week?
Yeah, everything's a hypothetical, bro, except for aliens. It's real. It's confirmed.
We would know if we stormed the Denver International Airport.
Yeah, which we do not condone.
Wink, wink.
Yeah. So these green children, right? This is why this is like absolutely nuts. Medieval times, we were all right with being like, they've got dragons in pictures, which you're a pretty heavy believer of dragons. I'm right on the cusp of being convinced. They've also got the ideas of fairies and, anything that you can kind of think of with medieval times. Here's what blows my mind about this. Allegedly, villagers were out like planting crops, harvesting crops, doing all their work outside in an area around Woolpit. Woolpit is located in like Suffolk County in London, just to kind of give you where this is. They find two children, a boy and a girl. And here's where it's kind of weird. They were near what was called wolf pits. Now, don't think that's a pit with wolves, because I know you got excited at that.
That's 110% what I thought. I was like, okay, these children are just like crazy from the get-go.
Yeah, yep. Now, wolf pit is what they used to call Woolpit. So, that's why this is important to mention, because in the original story, that's what people were thinking. They're like, what? They're by wolves? No, it's because Wolf Pit used to be what is now Woolpit. Same place. And then they looked relatively normal, but there was a few things wrong. You want to take a guess at what the first obvious one was?
They were green.
You are correct.
Damn, I'm good.
They also, though, had on some strange clothing that was unfamiliar to the locals. They spoke a language that was unknown, and they wouldn't eat anything except for raw beans, like fava beans. I don't know about
beans in a can?
No, dude. This is medieval times, dude. There's no beans in a can. They're eating raw beans.
Oh. Ew. I don't like cooked beans.
No, dude. Fava beans made me think of the Silence of the Lambs. Remember when Hannibal, he's like, I used to eat them with a side of fava beans. Talking about eating people.
I never watched that movie. I don't like scary movies.
Dude. It's not even scary. It's got Buffalo
Yes,
Bill in it.
he eats people, dude.
He doesn't eat people in the movie, bro. The
He
movie
cuts
is
his
about
head off.
using. Wow.
He cuts the dude's head off and feeds him the top part of his brain.
Well, I thought you didn't watch the movie.
I got TikTok, motherfucker. Watched all
All
the
right.
good parts already.
So the kids were taken into a local nobleman's house, Sir Richard de Calne. Over the time, the children slowly adapted to speak English, eat the food, live the culture. And here's where it gets wild. As they started eating what we call normal food, their tint, green, faded from their skin. But here's what's crazy.
Hold on.
The
You think that these people are aliens?
I don't know, bro. What if we're all aliens and just by eating the food on Earth, it just makes us human? Or what we know as human?
No.
I don't know, dude.
Nope. Nope. Sorry. There's too many different races and color of people
There's aliens all over
for
the.
everybody to be green and then eat food and then just.
No,
That's how
I
you get the
agree. I
same
agree.
thing.
It's crazy.
But
But
hold
what
on.
if?
Oh, no, 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 no. Why the
Uh-huh.
why the hell would aliens just eat beans, just raw beans? Why would
I
that
don't
be the
know.
only thing that they're eating? You know what I'm
Even
saying?
if
Like that's
right,
so
but
weird.
even weirder, right? They fade. So if they're just eating raw beans, what if it's something like a buildup of chlorophyll in their body? Like I know that sounds fucking stupid and like Billy Madison of chlorophyll, more like borophyll. No, I'm
No,
saying that green shit that makes plants green. If they're eating raw plants,
or they're like the Jolly Green Giant from the
dude,
little snap peas.
a new layer has been added to this theory.
Is the
What if,
Jolly Green Giant an alien?
or what if
Is
he
he
just
real?
eats so many greens that he turned green? That's what I'm getting at.
Oh, I was
I don't
going
know.
down a
I
deeper
know you're
rabbit
going a
hole.
different way. I kind of want to talk about giants next week. I don't know about you. I think we could go that way.
I know some tall motherfuckers.
Yeah. Okay. Back to where we were. Their green tint fades. They're still wearing these strange clothes when they're found. They don't speak English, and they only eat the beans. We've established that. So then here's where it's crazy. Their skin
It's not
starts
crazy yet.
to no, it gets even weirder. Their skin goes to a faded green, and then here's where I kind of was like, "What?" The boy got ill and died shortly after being baptized. The girl lived, learned English, and eventually explained where they came from.
Was she
Got any?
baptized?
I don't know. I don't know if I don't know the ins and outs of baptism back in that day and age.
I'm guessing it's the same as now. You know.
I mean, I would assume, but I don't know. It doesn't specifically say that she did. So I would assume possibly, but maybe not. Maybe she saw her brother get sick afterwards and was like, "Yo, that is not what I want."
Well, they usually do it the same day.
You would think, but I don't
So,
know.
I mean, I'm just trying to, logically look at this.
Well, here's where it's even weirder, right? So I said that the girl eventually explains where they came from. So let's see what that is, right? They say that she came from a place called Saint Martin's Land. Why would they be baptized if they came from a place literally named after like a saint? You would think at this day and age that would be a religious thing, correct?
Right. What if she meant Saint Martians?
Martians.
I don't know.
See, I like it. But
I bet you do.
here's what's crazy. This is the explanation of St. Martin's Land. Are you ready?
Hmm?
This is where I start to go back to Alien. The land existed in perpetual twilight, so never full sun, ever. Everyone and everything was green, and they had cattle when they heard loud bells. When that happened, they wander into a cave or a tunnel and emerged in Woolpit. Literally following church bells is what they are saying.
So what? Were they just pulled through another dimension then?
Dude, this is kind of tying into that new theory that you've kind of introduced me to. If we
Flat
are to
Earth?
believe flat Earth and believe that we live within what I had mentioned last week of a potential bubble that is inside of another bubble, literally we live on a layer and we have never gone past the wall is what they call, right? That's what your guys' thing is?
Yeah.
Flat Earths? Yep.
Yeah.
So they say that there is like phantasmic lands or mythical lands they always have these goofy names because in the end of everything it is just a theory, so we can come up with a crazy name until it gets fixed. But what if they did travel from another quote unquote dimension
Or
or
layer.
layer and came into ours, and that's why they like were different? That to me is just absolutely wild. I just them being able to say that they could have potentially traveled through a portal of some kind is wild. Why would that be an idea in the 12th century?
Well, I don't really have a good one for this one.
Yeah. It's just weird. Like how are they green? And this is what people are saying, dude. Like so
I
let
mean,
me
the only
first
thing I kind of read up on this a little bit,
yeah.
and they said that like anemic, right?
Right,
Low
but that
iron.
wouldn't make you green.
No, like well, hell, they just said my wife's kind of anemic. We
Right.
did the little blood test or whatnot, and she was like very low, or not very low on it. But my younger brother,
Mm-hmm.
he's super anemic, and when he was born, like they had to have the lights on him and stuff.
Oh yeah. I mean it happens. Anemia just really would make you kind of be like tired and weak and short of breath, which is normal for like pregnant moms and newborns. But the thing is that, like you said, they say iron deficiency causes it. Well, because I knew that this was the theory, I looked up how much iron's in a fava bean because that's all they ate, right?
It's a lot of iron.
A ton of iron is in a fava bean. So that immediately busts that theory. And that's like the most believable one, right?
I mean, logically, yeah, but it doesn't make any sense. Like, if there's a bunch of iron in those beans,
Yep. And that's
but
all
then,
that they ate to begin with.
yeah, and then when they ate normal food, they got less green.
That's what's weird. That's what kind of makes me think of the chlorophyll, which I don't even know if that's a theory. I haven't even gotten to that. I've just got the things that people have kind of believed. And a lot of them kind of make you go, "Oh, why are we believing this?" Number one is the fairy or supernatural. So they think that it was either a true fairy or it was from someone, like we said, an interdimensional travel or whatever. Um, the other theory they have, now this one's weird to me, and it's the most accepted, is that it was malnourished Flemish orphans. That they were immigrants and they faced a bunch of violence and persecution throughout their whole time of being a settler in England. Um, so they think that these people were, or these two kids were orphans because of all this shit that's going on. But that's where, like you had brought up, they had it's caused because of anemia and malnutrition and chlorosis. Now that was mentioned. It's a condition that's linked to nutritional deficiencies, and I've never heard of chlorosis.
Basically, that's another word for iron deficiency.
Okay, so again, if they're eating this shit, That's what's weird, dude. I feel like they throw big words at us to explain a lot of this shit, and it just when you
Yeah,
figure out what the words
chlorosis
mean,
is an
yeah,
ancient term for severe iron deficiency.
yeah. So
Anemia.
if they're eating beans, then they're 100% getting iron.
You're right. And
So,
they say this condition, it says here, the condition can cause greenish color,
huh?
which is odd. But if
I
you're
mean, how
eating
green
all
can you
those
be if people are
beans,
like, oh, they're green?
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to be green. But
Yeah,
at the same time, if you're eating beans packed full of iron, you should be all right. Iron and
yeah,
protein in those. I mean, besides being malnutritionist.
yeah. But even then, you would think that at some point, someone would come across these kids before the kids come across somebody. I know that sounds like a weird mouthful, but that
No, but seriously, like,
you got two kids in the
I
12th
mean,
century.
in the 12th century, so obviously people are out there hunting for their food.
Yep. Or like villages have specific paths. How are these two kids just going to get lost like the way that they are and be able to get so sick and malnourished that they turn green, but they're also able to approach people and talk, in their native language and this,
Which
that,
they
and the other.
found as, the gibberish or whatnot,
Right.
basically.
Right. But I don't know, man. That the most easily accepted one of being malnourished and sick and anemic, I don't accept that one. It's just too easy for us to say, okay, they made it this far. If they got that sick, do you think these kids would be walking? Especially if they're lost?
No.
They would turn around and go back.
Yeah, and they were found in a pit of wolves.
No.
I know.
I like that. But here's where my favorite one, there's one after this, is obviously aliens. A lot of researchers nowadays, paranormal kind, so usually the nut jobs, describe the story as one of the earliest alien encounters because of the strange appearance, the unknown language, mysterious origin, and references to another world. Again, St. Martin's Land, they've never heard of there. And if
No.
England and wherever Flemish people come from, um, obviously they're gonna know. Okay, that's a place over there. But
Yeah, they're sitting there going, where?
what? Yeah,
You're from where?
yeah, we've never heard of this, and that's scary. So,
Could you imagine, though,
like, they
walking?
truly.
Like you go out deer hunting or something one day,
And I come
and
across
all
two
of a sudden,
green kids.
yeah, there's just two
I'm
green
never
kids that
telling a
are,
soul, and neither of them are walking out.
ah,
No. If I came across two green kids, I truly think I would be stopped in my tracks and immediately suspicious. I wouldn't
you'd
welcome them into my
be
goddamn
sitting there like,
house.
I knew I shouldn't have ate the fucking edible
Yeah, right.
before I started walking. Damn
Yeah.
it.
No. That would be enough for me to be like, yeah, I've talked about aliens too much. They think that they need to introduce themselves, and I'm not prepared for that. Dude,
Said,
could you?
shit, they're here. I'm not ready.
Yeah, right. Like, wrong time, dude. Come on. It
Sitting
would
here
be
with
the
my
one.
slug gun.
Right, right.
Shit. I got two options
Oh.
here. I really don't see you guys thinking that I come in peace.
Yeah, right.
As much as
I was just about to say that. Why have we always said that cliche ass shit? I come in peace. Do you really think that we're going to say that to another alien? We get off the ship and there's something sentient looking back at us. I'm blasting, bro.
oh yeah, I mean that's a shoot first, ask
Yeah, there's
questions
no I'm
later.
coming in peace. Fuck off. There's America. You stay out of here.
Yeah, look, bud.
Nah, I get it.
If we
But
could
fuck.
literally build a wall that was sky high,
True.
America would just seal itself off.
And then we would never have anything.
No.
Buy to Amazon. God damn it. Don't get any ideas. Don't seal us off. Unless Amazon in the next layer of the onion is better. Like same minute
Uh,
delivery. It just pops in front of you.
I'm waiting for the drones to start happening.
They've got them. We're just not in a big enough city, dude.
Yeah, well, I'm about tired of paying for Prime, and my shit takes 4 fucking days.
Yep. Imagine.
Oh,
We're talking
Carla
about that
behind the
now,
wheel there.
but we're talking about 12th century where it took them, 8 years to get the order of stone they placed. It's just like,
Well, yeah, they were also delivering mail by pigeons or whatever.
no, I don't even think pigeons were delivering mail. Pigeons wouldn't make it. I don't know. Okay, so last theory, right? Is that it was symbolic or religious? A lot of people are saying that this is just a story that was written to kind of like push the idea of accepting people, whether it's religious or just like the first propaganda that we know of. Like, oh, go tell all these people that these green kids showed up and we took them in because we're good.
All these green kids, there was 2.
Yeah.
There ain't like a school of them. No, what
Yeah.
religion are you trying to push? What are you trying to get past? It's the Hulk?
Yeah. I don't know, dude. It's crazy. And the reason this is crazy, right, is because obviously if we're talking about it, there's enough documentation that it has kept all of this going for as long as it has. For almost 900 years, this story is still relevant.
Well,
But
yeah,
we don't know
because it's
why.
a good story.
Right. Again, it could just be like we've
what's his
mentioned
name?
before.
Was it Davy Crockett?
Yeah, that would tell people, like I've mentioned before, though, dude, about 90% of these conspiracies, if we truly didn't want to believe them, all you have to think to yourself is somebody made this up to keep you out of 1, the woods, 2, wandering by yourselves, 3, leaving mom and dad and going walking by yourselves. You could come across green aliens, or Sasquatch could be in those woods, or, that's where all of this shit could easily be explained for me. Is it true? Probably not.
I mean, this is a good story, but it's definitely not your best case of possible aliens that we're going to talk about.
No, I mean I totally agree. The next one's like crazy. I don't I truly have no explanation for why this lead mask case has, 1, happened, and 2, not been explained yet.
Government's covering it up.
I mean, it could be, but dude, like we've said before, that's a lot of government covering. You know what I mean?
Not
Like
really
all
for
the
the
countries would
Brazilian
have to.
government.
I know, but if
Oh,
the
I'm sorry.
story's,
Yeah, it'd be Brazilian government.
yeah, true. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh no, I was just reading my notes here. The guys are Portuguese, but
It
they
was in
were
Brazil, yes.
Brazilian electronic technicians.
Did
So
you
I'm like, yeah,
know?
it'd be the Brazilian police,
Yeah,
which
it.
they're Brazilian government. They'll cover anything up, man.
Yep. But at the same time, dude, here's what's crazy about Brazil, man. You've got this story coming out, and we're saying they covered this up, but they have the Christ the Redeemer statue. I feel like that's a way more like crazy thing to talk about from Brazil. They wouldn't just let this get out and be talked about.
Well, I don't
They
know if
wouldn't.
that's true.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, you got to think about how much stuff America's got, and then the cover-ups that we've done.
Yeah, true.
If you want to get into those, we can get into those. But I don't think you're ready for
Nah,
that.
nah, not yet. I like to keep locking that away in my brain and playing everything's okay.
Yeah, I know you do. You're
Yeah.
more of a realist.
Yep. I mean, I'm a realist, but I try not to think about it for too long.
Oh, but I can go on for days. We
Yeah.
can get like people on
Nope.
here.
Yeah, nope. Nope. So here's a little bit
Alex
of the
Jones,
background.
baby.
Here's a little bit of the background before everything happened. So there was obviously an incident that occurred, and there are 2 men, Miguel Viana and Manuel de Cruz. They were known in their hometown as electronic repairmen with unusual interests. So like always, there's always some cool explanation behind it that we get from these reports. The Atlov Pass, it was unexplainable natural phenomenon. What was the other one we had talked about? And they're just kind of like, oh yeah, it's just this. And it was like the most
Uh
ridiculous answer for what it was.
oh
It was the Stone Giants, wasn't it? They
yeah,
ran out of
like
volcano.
they ran out of volcano and then they hand moved.
Yeah.
That's what it
No.
was. They had hand moved them, and then because we were like, how the hell did they bury them then?
Yeah. Yeah. Erosion. We're just gonna say that. It's always some goofy ass explanation.
Yeah,
So
it's like, well, you can't explain Mother Nature all
yeah,
the time, so that's the best that we can come up with.
and then you get this one. These were just two dudes that repaired electronics, but they were into some weird shit. Okay, what weird shit specifically? Um, they experimented with radios, spiritualism, psychic communication, UFO phenomenons, scientific spiritual experiments. So your accusation of hallucinogens is definitely relevant, but I don't think their family would be like, no, they didn't take any drugs. Or yes, they were on drugs. I think that would be two things that would be really well known. And they claimed that these two guys, families, said, oh, they wanted to use these devices to contact higher beings or spirits. What if these dudes found out some shit we don't know about?
Well, that's why I was kind of saying government cover up here, because like, who's to say that they didn't just catch a frequency one day and hear some shit they weren't supposed to hear?
True.
You know,
Yep.
what if they wiretapped or did something like that? I mean, fuck, they
And
could have got recruited by another government to be a spy
yeah. Yeah. And that's
and do
that's what's
like a
crazy, dude.
wiretap, and then bam, they go up on this because there's a note. They left a note, or they didn't leave a note, but the only thing that was found on them was a note saying to be at that
At that
time or
location, at that
at that
time, yeah.
location at a certain time, and then there's another part that went with it.
Dude, what if this was the first part of damn it, what was that cult that killed themselves? They were trying to go to live with damn it. Yeah, it's almost like what if
Is
this
that
was
the
the
drink the
dry
Kool-Aid
run?
dude?
What if this was the dry run for the drink the Kool-Aid dude? What
It was the
if
drink the Kool-Aid dude.
yeah. What if this was the first try of like, okay, I can get these two dudes to think that aliens are going to come and we're going to get eternal life as an alien. But the only way we get there is if we're at this spot at this time when they come pick us up.
Yeah, because the note says 1630, be at this specified location.
Yep.
1830, ingest capsules. After the effect, protect metals, await signal mask.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, dude. It's weird. So here's how that all starts. I don't know if you got the exact like timeline before all this shit, right? In August 17th of 1966, this is when this starts. They travel several hours away and told all of their family members, we're going to buy electronics, supplies, and a car. And they took a shitload of cash with them. And here's what's crazy. Family didn't think this was bad. Like, they didn't suspect anything. So,
Well, why would they?
timeline. You would think that'd be kind of weird. Hey, we're going to go buy some electronics and a car and then some supplies. And like walk away with a duffel bag just spilling money out. Like that's what I'm picturing. And they're just like, yeah, I don't see shit.
Yeah, we're gonna go Radio Shack.
They're like, all right, cool. What do you got all that? Fuck it. Just have fun, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing suspicious. Well, then here's where the timeline picks back up after that. They arrive in that town that they were going to. They confirm that they stopped at a shop and they bought waterproof raincoats, bottled water, and
A
You would
bottle of
think,
water, not
yeah,
like bottles, just single bottle of water.
yep, one. And here's why like, you would be like, oh, it's raining. Maybe they're just getting a raincoat and getting the water. Nope. It was extremely hot that day, dry, no rain. Even the attendant thought it was a little weird that they were buying raincoats in the temperature that it was, and only having one bottle of water and being in a rush. So the last sighting, before whatever happens to these two individuals, um, was that they were heading towards a hill that overlooked the city, and a waitress at a nearby bar noticed that they looked nervous. They checked the time frequently and appeared concerned about being late. Now, that's why your note is a little bit odd, right?
I mean, I guess. I mean, it's odd. Don't get me wrong. The note is odd, but the fact that they're in a hurry or worried about the time doesn't make it as odd
No,
because they had the note.
but it's weird that all these people like somehow remember that, right? Like, it's,
That's true.
you always put yourself in one of those spots where you're like, God, what if I had the cops come in today and ask me, what did this person do? It's just,
I
I
plead the
don't
fifth.
truly think, yeah, I don't truly think anybody would be able to recall it that easy, unless it was so odd that you would probably have gone to the cops about it anyways. Like, that's what I don't get it. But here's what people report of the night. Um, Around the exact same time frame of the note, people reported that they saw unusual lights near the hill. They described it as a glowing orange or yellow object hovering above the hill and emitting bright flashes. Now, this is what's crazy, right? During the 60s, around this time frame, Brazil was having a huge wave of UFO reports. And all of a sudden, they're starting to connect the dots here. A big yellow glowing orange light flashing, um, and it's hovering. I don't know how good these guys were, but why would they do whatever this is? This has got to be a spaceship, right?
That's the only thing I can think, unless they bought a bunch of electronic shit, plugged it all in, and
How are they
blew it
getting it up
up.
in the air?
That's true.
I mean, that's what was crazy. I thought, here's what my immediate thought was before I did any research. I said, okay, they probably tied the raincoats together and made some kind of like a weather balloon, floated up a signal because they were told to be at this spot, and oh, maybe they're talking to this guy. Well, that couldn't have happened because upon doing research, the men were laying side by side, which is odd because if something were to blow up, you would not be laying next to each other. They were
No,
both
I mean you'd
wearing,
be thrown.
yeah, so you wouldn't be like right on top of each other, no matter what. Two, they were wearing suits and they had the raincoats on. So they can't make a weather balloon out of the two raincoats because they have the raincoats on. Here's what's also crazy: no visible injuries. So, again, that kind of cuts out the explosion, and no signs of struggle. Um, Here's where obviously the name comes from. They were both wearing homemade lead eye masks.
I was gonna say, can we not skip over that part because that part is the most confusing fucking thing
Yep.
to me.
I'm just easing into it, man. That's what's it. I don't know how this shit happened, and I don't know even how to begin to explain this because they're wearing these thick lead sunglasses that had no lenses and no eye holes. So they're just literally like wearing lead blindfolds, basically. So here's what people immediately think. You've got these reports of these lights being in the air and above the hill. Well, people think that these were made to shield their eyes from either the light or radiation or some kind of a flash or signal to let people know that they were being, rescued or whatever they were there waiting for. Only other items found at the scene, as you mentioned, the note in the notebook, and then an empty water bottle, a towel, the masks, obviously. All of this is all that they find. And then people are like, okay, well, let's see what it is. What was it that we had mentioned about a planned meeting? This is what one of the leading theories was, a planned meeting. Just like, roll back to Dyatlov, people say that that was a planned meeting or a spy meeting that went bad, correct?
Correct, but that doesn't explain the big glowing light.
Exactly, because at Dyatlov, nobody saw shit other than a storm. Here's the other crazy thing.
Russians are better
Somebody,
at hiding things.
right. Well, that's where this kind of I don't agree with. Because the other thought is, what if they took capsules or they took pills? And that's what caused it. Well, don't you think that would show up in an autopsy?
Well, that's true. But they couldn't get to the bodies in time, if I'm correct, right?
For this one?
Yes.
Well, I mean, the bodies hadn't waited there for a long time because, I mean, they were discovered only 3 days later.
Right, but it was long enough that they could not perform an autopsy on the organs, if I am correct in what I read.
Well, then maybe. I didn't read that part. So,
Because that's why they could never find if they were actually on drugs or not.
I got you.
Because that was a big part of this theory. Because they're like, oh no, they just OD'd, and then they're like, yeah, it took because where they were at to be able to get up there, it took cops and basically like the coroner and whatnot forever to be able to get up there. And by the time they got there, though, the part that was weird, okay, if you're up in the mountains in Brazil, I'm expecting some snakes, some
Right.
rodents, something that in 3 days would come and eat your body a little bit, but their bodies were fine.
Yeah.
Just their organs were spoiled. You know what I'm saying?
True. And that could definitely be what they thought. But I don't know, man. I don't know. The problem is, like you said, that the autopsy issue was because it got delayed. So decomposition did set in, toxicology became unreliable. There was also a heavy rainfall in the area. So, this is obviously after they had passed. But you would think the raincoats would do their job. I mean, you don't have to be alive to use a raincoat. And then,
Well,
right?
yeah, yeah.
But here's the other thing: doctors couldn't determine if there was poisoning, heart attacks, overdose, suffocation, external trauma. You would think that if they suffered some kind of external trauma, like you said, obvious injuries would have been visible. So
So the part that gets me though, that makes it think that possibly it was a cover up with
yeah,
all of this, is it here it says the coroner's office was very busy at the time. And when the
true.
autopsy was conducted, the internal organs of the two victims were too badly decomposed for reliable testing. Because of
Gotcha.
this delay, testing for toxic substances was not carried out. Which to me is like, all right, you got two dead guys in business suits up in the middle of the fucking woods. I'm sorry, but Granny over here, who is 93 years old, probably passed away from old age of a heart attack or something. I'm gonna push her to the side real quick.
Right. But on top of that, too, okay, I'm glad that you just mentioned that they were in suits again. I have never done hallucinogenics, but I'm pretty sure that the people I know that have wouldn't say put on a fucking suit.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if you've ever been fucking hiking. I ain't never hiked in a suit before.
No, let alone dress shoes of any kind. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Not the best for hiking.
Maybe that's the only reason that they had the rain suits or whatever, rain
To
jackets.
hike. I don't
Well,
believe it.
to keep the suits nice, you know. If you're
Well,
If you're going up there for a very government official secret spy meeting, you got to look official, you know. Or
True. But
if you're
how
up there
much protection are you
to
getting
meet
from a raincoat
aliens, if you're
at a
there to
gas
meet
station?
aliens, first impressions matter.
Right. But also, how much protection are you getting from a gas station raincoat?
Enough to where you don't get your suit scratched.
The amount of times you're slipping, I don't even care. You're wearing a raincoat, not a rain suit. The amount of times
That's
you're
true.
slipping wearing your stupid dress shoes, I'm telling you, you ain't making it.
That's true.
You're, I don't know. It's so weird. But as I had mentioned about the Heaven's Gate thing, what if, they were part of something? Well, funny little tidbit here. The police dug deeper into their backgrounds and learned that the men were allegedly involved in a loosely organized spiritual scientific group. They also claim that they experimented with
Scientology.
psychedelic. Yeah, well, what if it's just like I said, dude? Heaven's Gate Part One.
It could be. Well,
Like,
I mean, the pills that they took could have been like cyanide pills. They
true.
just didn't know that it was cyanide pills. I mean, fuck, the Germans used to do that.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, if we're saying that this autopsy took so long, they say that the big bad guy in Germany took one, and then his bunker was blown up. How are they able to get that intel out of that? But we can't figure out 3 days after these two dudes died in the jungle.
Well, because then they sat on there for two extra weeks and
Yeah,
let their fucking organ drop because the government didn't want to come out and say whatever actually happened to them, like they killed them because they were spies.
true, true. Or they got told to drink the Kool-Aid, and the Kool-Aid ate through their stomach.
I mean, yeah, if they're up on a mountain, they probably were told like, "Hey, take this pill, you
Yeah,
will rise into the heavens."
yeah. Well, on top of that, the media got their hands on this. Immediately, first things that come out: secret cults, spy meeting, uh, experiments with radiation, UFOs, and aliens. I'm going to go ahead and say yet again, like I've said for everything, aliens is the easiest explanation. Um, I think that it was just aliens touched down and either took them and brought them back or something else happened, dude. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna have to go with either your alien theory, which is pretty far out there, or the more realistic one. It's government cover up.
I thought you were going to go with the more realistic one, just that they took drugs and like died somehow,
Yeah,
like
no,
overdosed or whatever.
that makes too much sense.
Right. That's the original easiest. Now it's to the aliens. Who knows what else it was? I do know for a fact that it's odd that it has never been solved, and you would think somebody would have known what was going on, whether they don't want to get in trouble or what. But they should definitely tell that story because that would be pretty crazy. So I don't know. What do you guys think it was? Let us know in the comments.
They all think it's a government cover up.
I mean, true. They definitely could and should.
Our listeners are smart and logical people,
You're right.
so it's not going to be something stupid like aliens.
All right. I take offense to that.
You were
You know
supposed
that
to.
you know that aliens eventually are going to come here. And when they do,
They've
I'm
been here,
definitely
bud.
not pointing them to you.
Please don't. I don't want to see them.
Yeah, I don't
We've
know if my
already
brain
talked
would be
about
able to
what
tolerate
would
it.
happen if we ran into green children. You're
Yep.
over here just. So I
I
started
don't know,
blasting.
dude. Yeah. I don't know. I think it would be cool to meet an alien one day.
Maybe it depends on what they're like. I mean, every time that we see aliens,
Mars
they're never
attacks.
nice.
He's just
Yeah, dude. I
blasted
mean,
everybody.
like, you got Independence Day, any Independence Day, really.
Yeah.
Um, you got the movie Alien. Oh God, if they're like that, we're toast.
Yeah, dude, if they're like that, I'm just going to go ahead and say that we lost. There's no way.
I mean, every time that there's an Alien movie put out, they're never nice.
True. What if it's propaganda? Just to keep us from trying to talk to aliens, dude. I
mean,
did
it could
not
be.
bring my tin foil. Holy shit.
Well, it's like every time we're like, we come in peace, and they're like, that's cool, we don't.
Yeah, obviously we're way cooler than you.
Yeah. Their
Technically,
little,
Superman's an alien, so I guess that would be a happy ending alien.
I don't know, Superman goes bad too. He
Well,
reads
he does
fucking
for a little
comics.
while. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
And
you're.
then Batman takes him down, the only superhero that has no superpowers.
I don't know, man. How? Now you got me wanting to not think aliens are real. Now I'm gonna stay up. Appreciate that.
You're welcome. I wouldn't want to think aliens are real. You're thinking they're like all cute and fluffy and we come in peace type deal. But I don't know if you've ever noticed. Like I said, we always say we come in peace, and they're like, oh, cool. And then a big old laser beam comes down and blows up an entire continent.
Well, if the Earth is flat, then you shouldn't be worried about that, Noah.
That's true. I hope aliens are more like Transformers. That's the only cool aliens.
There's also some pretty bad ones in there, bud.
Yeah, but there's good aliens to fight the bad ones.
Oh, dude, I don't know. So, as always, thanks for listening. Let us know in the comment what you think these little green children were and what these dudes were wearing lead masks for. But as always, like I said, thank you for listening. And this has been Blazing Confused. Peace.
Peace.